Hi everybody, I'm here at the bank and I'm looking to take out a personal loan. You see, I'm looking to purchase a warehouse for my new product, the Internet Treadmill. It's like a treadmill that you connect your router to. The faster you go, the better the Wi-Fi. I'm being optimistic about this meeting. I mean, I'm banned from the last bank I went to and I'm about $40,000 in debt, but the only way you can go after hitting rock bottom is up. And I really think this is gonna work out. And if it does, this will be the start of my monopoly. Speaking of Monopoly! Apparently you goons like hearing me ramble about children's board games. So Monopoly, right? It's a business game about making money and making others not make money. There's about as many Monopoly board games as there are unique Funko Pops. That's not true. I made that up. But really there's a lot of these dang goofy games, around 3,500 to be specific, and a lot of them are the exact same game with different coats of paint. A lot of them are made by Hasbro, but not necessarily all of them are. In fact, just by browsing around the Monopoly, and also having my Monopoly experience of trying to play and giving up 15 minutes in on 2 separate occasions, I was able to find a bunch of unique games, some even having their own unique gimmicks or wacky stories in them, though some of these are just variants that only exist because some dingleberries and higher-ups were just hanging around and going like, hey, you know what would be really funny? And that's how the Hallmark Channel edition came into the world. Beyond that, most of these games exist to appeal to very niche groups who also happen to enjoy playing versions of Monopoly for some reason. Such an example is Horse Lovers Monopoly, which shouldn't be mistaken for Horseopoly, they are different. The Horse edition has you buying properties, which in this case are horses along with apples and carrots. But the rabbit hole only gets deeper. This is Dogopoly, a version of the game made by the University of Georgia and for the University of Georgia. You play as college stuff such as an alarm clock and buy properties from the lovable 1987 university. Apparently, there's even more of these games created for even more of these universities, like Iowaopoly for the University of Iowa, but I chose this game specifically because there's a W in Dogopoly. Beyond that, from the creators of Cincinnatiopoly and Dashhoundopoly comes Bibleopoly, a religious version of the game that kind of plays like it, but not really if I'm being honest. This version's main difference is that bankruptcy isn't how you win, but it's a race to see who can build a church first. Again, it's another version with very small changes. It's one of a gazillion different games that try to be part of this empire, which is not like anti-Monopoly. From what I could tell, this is the only one of the Opoly games I could find that the big boys of Hasbro try to make unexist. This apparently went on for years, and the reason for this was that the title of the game had Monopoly in it. Otherwise, it's just bankrupt bad Monopoly. You know, everyone kind of played the game for like 5 minutes and got bored. It's not special. But what if Monopoly was about a different kind of economic system? From the creators of Monopoly comes a parody of Monopoly that they advertise as a parody, I guess. Monopoly Socialism Edition is an adult version of the game where the goal is to throw money into massive projects or steal them. I wish I could provide more detail, but unfortunately that's all the Amazon listing says about this silly game. For 18+ versions of Monopoly, there's worse stuff, such as XXXopoly and Sexopoly, which I would go into detail about, but then I remember there's a good chance that my mom is watching, and if my mom hears me talk about this on the internet, I don't think I would be allowed to come to Thanksgiving, unfortunately. So instead, we're gonna talk about Monopoly Millennials Edition. This game sure is a consequence of the Industrial Revolution. Looking at the box art alone, it makes it feel like a political cartoon, and it just genuinely feels unreal. It gets weirder when you realize that the initial idea of Monopoly was to illustrate the evils of monopolies, which would then imply that anti-monopoly is bad, but then everyone feels bad in this situation, and I just don't get it! Instead of buying properties, you gaslight experiences. That's not a joke. Monopoly Cheaters Edition. It's an edition where you cheat. That's it. What's the point of a Cheaters Edition? You just ruin the surprise of someone cheating. Half the magic of the cheating is the surprise. Being aware of people cheating is okay, I guess, but being aware of the crime doesn't make it better. It's like, oh, cool, Paul's cheating. Well, it would have been cool if we weren't playing Cheaters Edition. We already knew Paul was cheating because that's the name of the game. It doesn't make sense. Monopoly Empire Edition is, first off, a powerful name, and secondly, hard to believe it even exists. Same old, instead of fighting over a boardwalk, you're fighting over loaves. Next game. Monopoly Glass Edition is a version of the game that is made of transparent and tempered glass with acrylic feet to prop it up. It is exactly what it sounds like. It plays exactly like Monopoly. Some of the pieces are translucent, but otherwise it's almost identical. This is the only time where I think it would be more energy efficient to hit the board with a hammer instead of the other players. Wootopoly has a really funny name. That's all I wanted to say about Wootopoly. It's really Really couldn't find anything else, actually, if I'm being honest. Post Office Opoly Wonders of the American Stamp Edition is a 2009 game that is really just its definition. Stamps! What? Crossovers in media are always fun and weird, and the Monopoly is no different. We got Peppa Pig Monopoly, we got SpongeBob Monopoly, we got Scott the Woz Monopoly, wait, what? And we even got Sun-Made Monopoly, a version of the game themed around the raisin boxes. Yep! There's so many of these goofy games that some world records even exist. The most expensive version of Monopoly is Sydney Mobile's Monopoly. This iteration looks about the same as every other version, but it costs $2 million to own, so I wouldn't know what it's like, because I don't have that money. That's why I'm at the bank. A majority of the pieces are made out of expensive minerals and stuff, such as rubies, sapphires, and some pieces are made of actual gold. The longest ever round of Monopoly was over 1,600 hours long. To celebrate this, Hasbro decided it would be really funny to make a board game version of this, with the purpose of it being way harder to finish. The board is more than double in length, and the winner can only be officially declared if they have collected every single space on the board. Do you see the problem? Please do not attempt this. You could write a college thesis and start a nuclear family in the time it would take to get third place on this goddamn board game. Speaking of things that are way larger than they should be, what is the largest version of Monopoly? Well, that would be, however you pronounce that. I don't actually. They made a Monopoly board game in November of 2016 that is 900 square meters in size. It kind of reminds me of the Mario Party DS game where you get shrunk, and I think it's fun. The last world record I bothered to look up was the record for most versions of Monopoly owned, and it's currently held by Neil Scallon from the United Kingdom. As of 2021, he has estimated that he owns upwards of 3,100 unique editions of the game since he started collecting in 2005. And just like the true fan of Monopoly he is, he also claims that he has not played any of the games in 20 years. Some of the versions of the game he very likely owns, but is not limited to, includes Alabama Edition, 2000X Future Las Vegas version, The Big Bang Theory Edition, Boo-opoly, World Cup France 98 Edition, Breaking Bad Edition, Van Gogh Edition, Wild Turkopoly, St. Barth Edition, Shrek 2 Junior Edition, Emo Edition, Warnopoly, Gekopoly, Sesame Street Edition, Sesame Street Edition 35th Anniversary Edition, Medical Monopoly, Olympic Games Edition, Plants vs. Zombies Edition, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer Collector's Edition, Pokemon Kanto Edition, and Pokemon Johto Edition. Just like the games, there's gotta be two of them. Spanish language US version, Space Jam: A New Legacy Edition, Monopoly Braille Edition, wait, I like that one, Washington in a Box Edition, Spider-Man Edition, Spider-Man 3 Edition. They skipped Spider-Man 2, believe me, I looked, I could not find Spider-Man 2 Edition. Star Wars Baby Yoda Edition, Gokopoly, US Coast Guard Edition, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier Edition, Zwarterwaterland Edition, Fortnite Battle Royale Edition. The Fortnite Battle Royale Edition is Fortnite, but it's Monopoly. What do you expect? It's Monopoly, it's Fortnite. There is nothing else it could be. There is nothing in between. There is no special gimmicks. It's Fortnite and it's Monopoly together. What do you expect? Look at this funny dance. Oh. I guess it's time for me to start my Monopoly. I hope this internet treadmill meeting goes well and everything. Well, join me next time as I consider the possibility of talking about polar bears. They're white, they're large, they're bears, and they're polar, you know? Maybe I look into that in the future. Who knows? You just gotta, you know, let me know if you want me to talk about polar bears, but I'll see you guys next time, and wish me luck. Damn, that could have gone better.